Hello, everyone. I'm Anas Al Ubaidi, and this is this session is the first lecture or first topic within Chapter 13 from the Advanced Medical Science Liaison and Medical Monitor Certification course, AMSLC course program by the CCRPS. And Chapter 13 is about specialized monitoring areas. And the first topic with it for this session is about the oncology and rare disease trials monitoring. Introduction about the topic. As oncology and rare disease trials occupy a critical niche in clinical research, addressing some of the most complex medical challenges. These trials, for the oncology and rare disease trials, demand extraordinary precision and adaptability, as they often involve personalized approaches to treatment, niche patient populations, and innovative therapies. With advancements in cancer genetics and rare disease diagnostics, these trials are often considered the pinnacle of cutting edge research. However, they come with unique challenges that require specialized monitoring techniques to ensure success. So, because of the challenges or the obstacles that might accompany or align with such clinical trials for rare diseases and or oncology field or oncological field or oncology, then therefore such trials might require or for sure would require specialized monitoring techniques. Why? In order to reach the same outcome that we're always looking for, success, which is successful trials. So oncology trials are inherently complex due to tumor heterogeneity, multimodality treatments, and adaptive protocols that change based on interim results. Based on interim results, meaning interim ongoing. It is a terminology or a term we use in research to express on anything on regard ongoing trials. So interim results meaning ongoing trial results for ongoing yet still ongoing trials. So these trials often demand long-term monitoring to evaluate survival rates, of course, and assess the long-term safety of treatments like targeted or immunotherapy. Because of the nature of the trials, whether oncology or rare diseases. Conversely, rare disease trials face obstacles like patient recruiting from very small patient pools dispersed across regions, unvalidated clinical endpoints, and ethical considerations against placebos. So, first, if we suppressed about the obstacles or challenges for oncology trials, now about the rare disease trials, on the other hand, is not much of a different because it also has its own specific obstacles in which require a specialized or approach of monitoring. Effective monitoring of these trials is not just about protocol compliance, it's far beyond that. It is about safeguarding data integrity, ensuring participant patient safety, and adhering to strict regulations. With the introduction of global guidelines, evolving regulatory landscapes, and technological advancements like digital platforms and artificial intelligence AI powered tools, the landscape has drastically modernized. Now we come to the key points of the topic as we start with unique challenges in oncology and rare disease trials. So the unique challenges in oncology and rare disease trials, we have oncology trials. So this is about the oncology. The upcoming points or challenges or unique challenges will be reflected on oncology trials, despite of the order we'll start with complex protocols. So, oncology studies often leverage personalized medicine approaches using biomarkers and genetic profiling for tailored treatments. As for an example, a study uses next generation sequencing to identify participants or patients' eligibility for a BRCA targeted PARP inhibitor. As you might know, that there are gene mutations for cancers, and for each cancer there is a specific or its own gene mutation. However, doesn't mean the gene mutation or the same biomarker might be applied into more than one cancer. For instance, here BRCA or BRCA targeted is about breast cancer, for instance. And might apply to another kind of cancer, but most famously, commonly with breast cancer. So, a study uses next generation sequencing to identify participants eligible for a BRCA or BRCA targeted PARP or PARP inhibitor. Adaptive trial design. So these trials frequently modify treatment arms based on interim, means ongoing trial efficacy and safety data. So efficacy and safety data for yet still ongoing trial. Example, an immunotherapy adds a new combinatorial arm mid-study to improve outcomes. Long follow-up durations as observations required for long-term endpoints such as progression-free or overall survival. As for example, a prostate cancer trial monitors participants' survival and recurrence rates for a decade. So this is the issue for oncology trials. Mostly, if not always, there will be long-term observation or long-term monitoring. As here, the example is the perfect reflection of the idea of long-term monitoring. High toxicity risks. Innovative treatments such as CAR-T or CAR-T therapy come with life-threatening adverse events, AEs. So, example for that, monitoring cytokine release syndrome during early phase CAR-T or CIR-T trials is vital. Now, after oncology trials, the unique challenges in rare disease trials. Despite of the order, we'll start with tiny, dispersed populations. So rare diseases often impact only a handful of patients globally or internationally, making patient recruitment difficult. Because even if it's a multinational, even if it's a global, high-scale, large-scale trial for a certain rare disease, doesn't mean if it is international, global, meaning the recruitment will be easy. No, yet because if it's a rare disease, will be globally rare disease, not rare disease for a certain area or region. As for example, a lysosomal storage disease trial recruits only 7 participants, only 7 patients across 3 continents. Why? Because this is how this is how rare disease is, in which the trial is for. Geographical and socioeconomic barriers, as patients are often located in underserved areas with limited infrastructure. And this is also a challenge, as for example, a Duchenne muscular dystrophy trial, which is a muscular disease that is usually appears, usually, if not always or often, with male children. And you see there will be some enlargement or swelling in their calves, and they are unable to stand up easily if they are sitting. This is a main presentation or common presentation in addition to other presentations and findings. So a Duchenne muscular dystrophy trial engages patients living in rural communities requiring decentralized resources. And this is an example of geographical and socioeconomic barriers. Unvalidated endpoints, as trials lack standardized clinical measures or must create unique outcomes. For example, developing patient-reported outcomes to assess mobility in mitochondrial diseases. Cross-functional collaboration. Trials demand coordination among geneticists, neurologists, and pharmacologists due to multidisciplinary needs. So here, cross-functional collaboration, meaning the multidisciplinary collaboration or networking or partnership between multiple specialties for one reason or for one trial. As for example, here teams work together on an enzyme replacement therapy, RTC, ERT, enzyme replacement therapy for Tay-Sachs disease. And here's a good diagram summarizing or showing or about the navigating complexities in oncology trials. So we have the oncology trials, now here the complexities. We have complex protocols, adaptive trial designs, long follow-up durations, long follow-up, long-term monitoring, and high toxicity risks. So best practices for monitoring. I will start with RBM, risk-based monitoring, as focus resources on high-risk trial activities to optimize effort and ensure safety. So in order to direct the efforts. And meanwhile, we'll be also ensuring the patient safety. Example, a phase 3 oncology study reduces on-site visits for compliance sites while intensifying monitoring of immunotherapy adverse events, AEs. A centralized data review use digital dashboards and software tools to perform remote real-time monitoring. As for an example, identifying delayed tumor imaging uploads remotely prevents data discrepancies or inconsistencies from impacting timelines. Comprehensive onboarding and training. Site personnel must receive intensive training to handle complex therapies and diagnostics. As for example, oncology site staff are trained in the proper protocol for interpreting PET/CT imaging. Now here we have the patient-centric strategies, minimize patient burden by adopting flexible approaches that accommodate their needs. As for an example, decentralized hubs allow rare disease patients to conduct clinical assessments closer to home. Robust team communication channels ensure ongoing collaboration between CRAs, clinical research associates, data managers, and principal investigators. Example, weekly virtual meetings synchronize data sharing between multi-country teams in a gene therapy trial. Regulatory audits and oversight integration, as regulatory audits ensure compliance with complex protocols and investigational drug or investigation product IP storage standards. As for example, oncology sites are audited quarterly to confirm serious adverse event SAE reporting adherence. And here's a nice diagram showing the best practices in a clinical trial monitoring, as we have here located the low risk, high risk, and here the low resource intensive and resource intensive. As we have here, sits the central. Here is located the location or the centralized data review has been located. Patient-centric strategies has been located here. Risk-based monitoring has been located here, and comprehensive onboarding and training has been located right here. And this is a good diagram summarizing the best practices in monitoring. Regulatory considerations. So in oncology trials, particularly, extended reporting for adverse events AEs, particularly those involving dose-limiting toxicities or delayed effects like secondary malignancies. Example, phase 1 oncology trials submit AE adverse event reports weekly for review in early phase FDA, Food and Drug Administration submissions. For rare disease trials, ethics review boards subject the trials to close scrutiny due to small participant pools and unconventional trial designs, as for example, single-arm studies. And here as an example also, ERBs approve a gene, which is ethics review boards, ERBs, ethics review boards, approve a gene editing study only after a risk-benefit assessment proves substantial value for hemophilia sufferers. Global cross-border regulations, integration with global guidelines, for instance, ICH, the International Council for Harmonization, E6R2 GCP, good clinical practice ensures process standardization across regions. For example, monitoring standardized or standard operating procedures (SOPs) are harmonized for trials spanning the U.S., United States, European Union, and Asia. And here is a summarizing diagram showing the regulatory considerations in clinical trials, oncology trials, as we have here, adverse event reporting, phase 1 FDA submissions, rare disease trials, ethics review boards, gene editing study approval, and global regulation standardized monitoring SOPs as of standard operating procedures or site operating procedures, SOPs. Advancements revolutionizing monitoring. So the advancements. Despite of the order, we'll start with digital and cloud-based data platforms, as here ensure immediate remote access to clinical and imaging data across global teams. As for example, cloud-based systems allow rapid electronic case report form, ECRF uploads and consolidations in multinational rare disease trials. Wearable devices enable continuous real-time monitoring of participants' physiological parameters. As for example, a wearable heart rate monitor tracks cardiac toxicity during oncology drug trials. Synthetic control arms, historical data repositories serve as comparators, reducing reliance on placebo groups. Example, a rare disease trial avoids a placebo group by leveraging a natural history database for neurological disease progression. Biomarker driven monitoring, dynamic biomarker data enable on the fly treatment adjustments or early intervention, as for example, declining ctDNA levels predict survivability during real time monitoring in an advanced melanoma trial. Virtual monitoring and artificial intelligence integration, virtual site tours, and AI artificial intelligence powered systems simplify inspections and protocol adherence checks. As for example, an AR enabled remote audit of biomanufacturing facilities ensures compliance for gene therapy products. Then we have the patient reported outcomes, PROs for short. Standardized tools allow verification of subjective endpoints, as for example, rare disease patients report improvements in fatigue levels, supporting efficacy data for a mitochondrial therapy. So here are the advancements in clinical monitoring. This is a summarized diagram showing biomarker monitoring, digital data platforms, wearable devices, and synthetic control arms. Case application for mastery as area and real world application for each area. So we have for decentralized trials, the onboarding home based nurses to monitor serious adverse events, SAEs, in oncology research. We have for biomarker analysis, the using of ctDNA to adjust therapy milestones in rare cancer trials. For patient-centric approaches, we have the application of providing electronic consent or e-consent tools and teleconsultation access in remote areas. While for wearable technologies, we have the real-world application of deploying glucose monitors for oncology patients managing diabetes. So through implementing these practices, monitors, whether medical monitors or any kind of monitors, can ensure that oncology and rare disease trials meet their intended goals by balancing scientific rigor, compliance, and patient well-being. Combining fundamental knowledge with advanced technology, we as monitors and as researchers, can effectively oversee these challenging yet rewarding segments of clinical research. Now we have tables that which summarize what we have covered through this lecture. As here we have unique challenges of oncology and rare disease trials, the aspect oncology trials, rare disease trials, impact and solution. Aspects here we have the recruitment, patient recruitment, follow-up, protocol complexity, multidisciplinary needs, and adverse events as of AEs. We have the table here for best practices for monitoring oncology and rare disease trials, the best practice description, oncology implementation, rare disease implementation benefit. The best practices, we have the RBM, risk-based monitoring, centralized data review, patient-centric monitoring, staff training, and communication channels. We have the table about regulatory considerations in specialized trials, the aspect, oncology trials, rare disease trials, common requirement, and key challenge. As aspects, we have the adverse event reporting, AE reporting, ethics committee review. We have the global guidelines, data traceability, and endpoint validation. Endpoint validation. We have here a table showing the recent advancements in monitoring techniques, the advancement, purpose, oncology example, rare disease example, and then impact. As for advancements, we have the digital data platforms, wearable devices, synthetic control arms, biomarker monitoring, and virtual monitoring. As here, synthetic control arms, we need to remember the purpose reduces the need for placebo participants. Applications of patient-centric approaches, the aspect, description, oncology application, rare disease application, and then outcome. So we have the aspects, home-based monitoring, reduced travel burden, PRO integration, cultural adaptation, flexibility of timelines. Then we have the application table for scenarios, and for each scenario, the key principle that was applied, key actions, timeline, and what to watch out for. Scenarios, we have tumor imaging data anomalies, low enrollment of rare disease patients, adverse event reporting in oncology. We have here the data integrity in decentralized rare trials. Continuing with the scenarios, we have the PROs for rare disease endpoints, endpoint adjustments, mid-trial, developing historical comparators. Continuous scenarios, we have here remote safety monitoring with wearable devices, oncology staff training needs, global collaboration in rare disease trials. Then, in order to revise what we have covered in this session, we have some or few multiple choice questions, MCQs. Question 1. Which of the following is a unique challenge in monitoring oncology clinical trials? Is it A, limited global participants? Is it B, unvalidated clinical endpoints? C, complex protocols involving biomarkers and personalized treatments? Or D, lack of ethical considerations? So it is the complexity in their protocols. So it is C. So oncology trials often require customized dosing and biomarker use, adding complexity to their protocols. Challenges like limited participants and unvalidated endpoints are more characteristic of rare disease trials. Question 2. What is a common monitoring challenge in rare disease trials? Is it high participant retention? Is it geographically dispersed participants? Is it overuse? C, overuse of placebo-controlled groups? Or D, frequent protocol adaptations? So it is definitely B, the geographically dispersed participants or subjects. So rare disease trials often have participants scattered across multiple regions, requiring extensive multi-country collaboration. Challenges like retention and protocol adaptation are less prominent in these trials, although they do exist, but less prominent. Question 3. How do wearable devices contribute to monitoring in clinical trials? Is it A, by replacing traditional endpoints? Is it B, by providing continuous biomarker monitoring? C, eliminating the need for participant visits? Or D, by creating synthetic control arms? So it is definitely B. So it is monitoring devices, wearable devices for monitoring in clinical trials. So providing continuous biomarker monitoring. So B. So as wearable devices allow real-time tracking of biomarkers such as glucose levels, enhancing safety and data collection, they do not replace traditional endpoints or create control arms. Question 4. Which monitoring strategy ensures culturally sensitive communication in rare disease trials? Is it A, intensive GCP training? Is it B, frequency RF reviews? And here, intensive GCP, good clinical practice training, or B, frequency RF case report form reviews, C, customized form consent forms, or D, cloud-based data platforms. So it is C definitely, because here we are reflecting on the cultural challenge. So culturally sensitive communication in rare diseases. So here definitely What will resolve such challenge, the cultural challenge or the culturally sensitivity point on this or aspect, is customized informed consent, customized ICFs, customized informed consent forms. So to see, so adapting informed consent forms for specific cultural context ensures participants understand their involvement, which is critical in multinational rare disease studies. Question 5: what is a notable advancement in monitoring rare disease trials? Is it frequent on-site visits only? A. B. Using traditional paper CRF case report forms. C. Synthetic control arms from historical data. Or D. Increased placebo group utilization. So definitely it's not A, not B. Not using traditional paper CRFs. It's not an advancement. It's traditional application. It's not on-site visits only, increasing the frequency like traditional on-site visit. No, because we are talking about notable advancement, not increasing the placebo group utilization for sure. So what's left is C, as C synthetic control arms from historical data. As synthetic control arms reduce reliance on placebo groups by using natural history databases, enhancing ethical considerations in rare disease trials. Traditional or increased placebo use contradicts trial advancements. And here we come to the end of this lecture. Thank you very much and goodbye.